afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Dark Heart Thicket. We're doing it as an elemental shaman point of view. As you can see, that there's going to be starting off here. It's pretty progressive on its trash. You'll start off with the corrupted night elves and the wildlife that are here inside what they basically part of the Emerald Nightmare instead of the Emerald Dream. Long story short, Xavius, or the Shade of Xavius, has taken over the Emerald Tree and corrupted part of it. So now we have the Emerald Nightmare. This first part, you're going to fight some birds, some night elves, bears. The bears do hit quite hard, even in the normal mode, so you're going to want to end up taking your time with them. Try not to pull too much, because as Blizzard's new model, one of the things that they've decided on is you're not going to be able to pull from one end of the dungeon to the other and get away with it. Basically, you have one group of mobs that's going to counteract the other group of mob and try and kill you almost instantly with the different mechanics. We do even have a situation here where we did end up pulling an extra set or two, and the tank did end up dying, causing some major issues, but with good kiting and everything, we kept the wipe from happening, and we got Lightning Surge Totem to stun him out. So we're looking really good on it. And here it is, actually, to where we are pulling all kinds of stuff, and the tank's going to die, but our healer was pretty awesome, so we made it through. Again, this is just a general... this was a pickup group that I ended up doing to get this. It's also my first time in here, along with the tanks, from what I understand, and I don't know if anybody else has been in here. I believe the healer had, but other than that, I wasn't really open about asking, like, hey, who's been here, you know. We're just going to end up going with it. There is a couple different things to look out for. As you end up going through this thing, you'll see that there's still some work to be done. They've got the please delete me signs up here. So we're going to go through. We did get a little bit lost right here, running back and forth, because we didn't realize we had to just end up going around this little short corner and call it good. But here we are, and again, you can see there's more night elves. Basically, it looks like they're trying to corrupt some more of the wildlife that's here. We got some spiders here. Generally, this dungeon, it is very nice. Very, very nice. Coming up onto the first boss with these two bears, as you can see, the tank is taking some huge damage. Nothing too terribly big. But again, this is normal. And a lot of people that have been working on the Alphars, they're working certain tunes, and they're actually ended up getting more artifact power for their weapons. So they're doing better than what it'll actually be. Now, if you're live, if you've got heroic or mythic gear, this is going to be a joke, because you're actually scaled down to a 680 item level whenever you start the alpha. Okay, so the first boss here is an Archdruid. Basically, you'll see that we're spread out. What he does is he's going to end up doing a charge, whether in a cat or a bear form, and he does a general cleave. You'll actually see me and the healer at one point get too close, and he cleaves us in the bear form, and we both end up getting a little ticking dot. It is nothing to be worried about, at least not in normal at this tuning. It's very simple. It's very unappealing, to be quite honest. You'll also see the red piles of goop. They just kind of keep growing from the looks of it, and it's going to act as your soft enrage. What it does is he ends up hitting one person with it, and then it spreads over to another person. Generally, it looked like it was a range deal, to where it's someone within his range and within that person's range that it will cleave off to and cause these piles. Again, it's going to act as a soft enrage, which will probably, right now it doesn't seem to be an issue. When you get into your heroic mode and you get into more of your challenge modes and everything, I can see to where this is going to become a huge issue. It is basically going to be a burnout issue. You might even want to end up using your heroisms or bloodlusts on this guy, just to make sure that you get through without causing too much creep, or you're going to definitely end up wanting to be a lot more set up strat-wise than we were. As you can see, we've got the rune cut in half. So continuing on, we're going to end up getting into some more trash up here. One thing you'll notice about a lot of these dungeons, they do have a lot of trash. Some of it's skippable, but most of it is made so you actually run into it. Now here we're looking, and we've got like the little centaur style, half horse, half goat, half whatever kind of. This one here is a druid with the ass of a donkey. I don't know. And some flowers. This is what I'm talking about it going and getting more visually aesthetic and actually getting, it's kind of a progressive look. So now you're getting deeper into the actual forest area, and you're starting to see, you know, the plants are coming to life and seeing the magic on them and the stuff that you normally wouldn't see outside, like the animals starting at the beginning and the general night elves. Alright, now we're coming into the murky swamp area. You're going to recognize these models because, well, they were all over Mr. Pandaria. They did change them slightly, but, you know, they're still the same swamp beast. And now we're at Oakheart. Oakheart is pissed. He wants to turn you into kindling because he is burning. I don't know how long he's been burning for, but that is one strong piece of wood because he is still going. He does do, from what I've noticed, a frontal cone. And then he also sets out these little snares. As you can see, I'm going to get caught in this one because I didn't notice it off the bat. They don't have anything for health. Most of the time they're usually a simple one-shot, depending on how it's done. He's doing crushing grip thing, which is where he turns and he ends up smacking the tank. Again, there's not too much involved on him. He does have a pretty decent health pool, but there's nothing to be scared about on this boss. At least, again, this is normal, this is still alpha, we're still in testing, but it looks good. He does have some interesting stuff. He does want you to burn. He does want you to end up basically paying for his torture, but he's dead, so now we don't have to worry about that. And now we're going to move down, and you can see, again, progressively we're getting more into satyrs. We've got some bats coming up that we're going to end up having a fight. A lot of Blizzard's new dungeons that are more linear are actually pushing this to where the model itself of the dungeon starts changing. You'll see it gets a little bit darker, a little more foggy as we end up going. And the other thing is the bats, the creatures, the models themselves, they seem to update as you go also. So each dungeon's trying to tell a story. Again, this is our first time coming in here, and you're going to see a quick cut on the video right there. We basically jump down in that tree trunk, and that takes you to the Shade of Xavius. They kind of need to do some reworking on that, because if not, you can completely miss this boss up here. We actually ended up porting out and porting back in, so we can end up getting in here to head the right direction. Now with this coming up, this guy right here, it's just a trash mob. He's pretty decent. As you can see, he splits down in the little guys. I almost died because of the damage that was going out, and the tank didn't grab it right away. Now, this boss, again, looks great, but it feels like it's missing something. You've got all these eggs sitting around you, and it does a pushback. It does a wind pushback. You'll see that coming up, and it's supposed to push you into the eggs and basically get you many whelps. If you end up remembering Onyxia back in the day, you've seen the videos, that's kind of the same deal. You touch the eggs, it cracks, it becomes whelps. As you can see, there's a few of them that are coming up. It does a pushback, but this pushback doesn't seem like it's punishing enough, like on Manaroth, to where it's going to push you back, and if you aren't reactive right away, you can still end up saving it. It's nothing big. Again, normal, alpha, still in testing. It is a dragon, and it actually has dragon mechanics. You kind of want to watch out for a tail swipe, from what I've understood, and you also want to end up watching out for a breath. In this video, I never once saw someone get tail swiped. As you can see, the other shaman, the shaman healer, is actually sitting right by the tail. Nothing's happening. I don't know if it's something that's not implemented or if it's even supposed to be there. That's just something I've heard through the grapevine. Now the whelps, they really don't do too much. I'm sure if you got too many it would be a pain, but other than that it's just tank, keep it facing away. Other than that, just DPS it and try and time it to where you aren't getting caught in backdraft with cooldowns like I did at the very beginning. Other than that, cool model. What we're looking at, you know, again, still in the alpha, you've got more of the please remove items for them to try and touch up in the visual graphics department. But other than it's shaping up to be a really nice dungeon. It looks good. If you've got a high-end computer, you set that to ultra, you'll start seeing some really good pieces. I've really noticed a difference, like in Val'sharah, where this dungeon's based, in the tree lines. Instead of it being the box trees, you're actually seeing different pixelated leaves, stuff like that, so it's looking real nice. Alright, so that one's done, and we are now heading to the Shade of Xavius. Now we want to go down in this tree trunk instead of before. And again, you're going to see a little bit more progressive on the actual mobs themselves. Now it's going from satyrs to satyrs and bats to satyrs and imps. So you're starting to see a little bit more of the like the demon presence, the demonic presence that's trying to come. Fairly simple trash. They aren't going to do anything that's going to end up being too exciting. What you're looking at is, you know, they're adding little like pyroblast style deals to you, and you explode. Just get out of the group. Alright, so this is our last little trash pull before we get on to the Shade of Xavius. The fight coming up, yeah, again, the fights really aren't anything, in this dungeon at least, they aren't anything to really get too excited about. I think they were more going for a storyline on this than anything else. So here we got the Shade of Xavius. Mechanics wise, you'll see that circle that just happened to go on our restoration shaman right there. What it is that right there, when you get it, you want to basically stand with the rest of the group. He also does a little fear deal. What that little circle is going to do though is it's going to silence you. Guess who didn't know about that at first and ran around like a chicken with his head cut off trying to get away from people? This guy. You'll find that one quite amusing coming up here. As you end up looking, here we go. As you end up looking, there's this little red deal of roots. What that actually is Malfurion root pie. You want to break the roots off of Malfurion and continue on. Basically, he comes out, he gets all dizzy and hazed, and once he gets done with that, he buffs you so you can actually take down the whopping amount of health that's on the shade itself. Yeah, see? Look at this old-style slapstick comedy running away, and I'm even gonna ask this guy, why in the hell are you trying to stun me or silence me out the whole time? And then he'll correct me a little while later. Why you silence me the whole time? Aw, crap, guys. Yep. That was my noob moment. So, as you can see, the sky is falling. He's basically, that's parts of the tree. He's tearing the world tree apart, and we're supposed to try and stop him from it, but we are not doing too good. So you can also see Malfurion. Boom, he finally ended up getting up, and here's our buff to basically go all ham. This is when we should have ended up using our Bloodlust to end up taking him out. Just to increase our damage on him a little bit more. Okay, this time I'm going to end up learning from this silence. I'm going to move in. Now I've got the picture. I still got to avoid everything. Nothing big. Again, these fights in this dungeon are... easiest way to end up putting this, they are not that pleasing. they're general, they're basic. They tell an awesome story, but it's going to get old. It's going to get old quick, and hopefully they end up jumping something up, at least on the heroic modes and the challenge modes. They just feel like they're missing something. Most of them, they're this one here, I mean, because of the AI set and everything, it's basically a patchwork style fight, where you're just DPS, and the only time you ever have to switch is whenever the boss becomes inactive and you actually have to end up killing the roots that are holding Malfurion down. Other than that, it's just DPS a boss, DPS a boss, DPS a boss. So there it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. If you want some more, go ahead and like and subscribe. I plan on putting out plenty more. And again, thank you. It's been a blast.